HEARTBERG HOTEL, das Interview der Woche.
And there he is. I have to think, small forward?
Yeah.
Shooting guard?
Shooting guard.
Our,
Sometimes something between power forward and small forward.
okay. The man
Sometimes point guard.
who can shoot from every position.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. A guy who has absolute control in the air, I would say.
The smoothest mid-range jumper
I would say so, yeah.
in the league.
The guy who is willing to take the really important shots in the end. The guy who has a contract until 2028.
Yeah.
And then a guy with a special last name.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning we thought it is French,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Not.
It's English.
Yes.
So we just welcome our number 2, Alijah
Comithier.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What was wrong? What was right of the introduction?
Everything was right.
Everything was right.
I would say I do play a lot of different positions.
Yeah.
And I mean, the introduction was beautiful. I mean,
Okay.
there was no any other way that I would want it. So I'll thank y'all both for that.
And it's Comithier.
Yes.
Okay.
Comithier.
Because
Yeah.
in the television, some reporters call it Comithier.
Comithier.
Yeah. So it's like
a
a Comithier.
Comithier.
Yeah.
Comithier. So next carnival, your costume should be French guy, and then you're Comithier.
I don't know where the I guess like the ethnicity comes from in my last name.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure down the line there is some French or something down in there.
Okay.
So.
Are there a lot of Comithiers in your region?
No, as far as I know, that I am the only one besides the rest of my family that has that last name.
Alijah Comithier.
Alles
Name?
klar, Herr Kommissar.
Yeah, alles klar, Herr Comithier. A name everybody in the league knows now, Alijah Comithier.
I think so.
We have to talk about a lot of things, about the season, the very nice and good season,
And a lot of
about the
traditions.
contract extension,
Yeah.
about your time in Europe. So we are very happy that you're finally here. But before we start, there are a lot of traditions here in our podcast.
Okay.
Because we are more than 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can walk. We go to the kindergarten right now.
Okay.
And there are some traditions because in every podcast, when we have a player here in our little HEARTBERG hotel, then we have also a little bit of food, special fruit from the region. And today we have something to eat we've never eaten before here in the podcast.
You never eaten before?
No, we have never
We
eaten.
have
I
never
have eaten it before.
A lot of times?
Huh?
A lot of times you eaten it before?
Yeah, but only once a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will go to our kitchen. It's on the -7. I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I will go to the kitchen, and while I am going to the kitchen, Kumbi, he's the lord of the questions, the host of the questions.
This is
because-
also a tradition.
He's our announcer in the arena. He has the honor to ask you the first question.
Yeah.
And then when I come back, I will ask all the rest of the questions. So see you.
Okay, perfect.
So Alijah, welcome to the HEARTBERG Hotel. And the first question is very easy, I think, but I hope you can still remember. So where were you born and where you raised up?
I was born in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
And then I think in about 6th or 7th grade, I moved to San Antonio, Texas. I come from a military background. My mom moved there just to be closer with her side of the family. So, yeah, it was a big change for me.
Okay, so you moved from Virginia to Texas.
Yes.
So, and how was your first contact with basketball?
It started with my dad. He kind of showed me at a young age just to kind of stay in sports. And it was a lot of different sports: baseball, football, basketball, and track. And basketball just kind of took over as I just started getting a lot taller. And I had to start moving away from different sports.
Who's the big guy in the family, your mom or your dad?
I'm actually the tallest person. My dad is about 6 foot. My mom is 5'5".
Okay. We will talk about your dad in this podcast for sure.
So would you say you're a typical Virginia guy or typical Texas guy?
I would say both.
Okay.
Both of them had a big impact on my life. So I love the rain and I love the beach and the East Coast vibe. And then I also love being down south in San Antonio. Love Mexican food. I love the Mexican population there. And yeah.
He loves the heat. He loves the beach. This is why
San
he
Antonio or
went to
Houston Rockets?
Finland, right?
Yes, that's exactly why I went to Finland. Because they just have so much sun.
Yeah.
Okay. So San Antonio Spurs or Houston Rockets?
Spurs, of course.
Or Dallas Mavericks?
Spurs, of course. I love Wemby.
Okay.
Oh,
Great.
No, but if you're in Germany, you have to support the Mavericks.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have a very great tradition.
German
with-
tradition in
yeah,
this. Yeah.
because of Dirk, right?
Is there somebody
Nowitzki?
famous that played for the Mavs?
No,
or
I
something
don't
like
think
that?
so. I think
don't know.
For the
No,
Mavs?
no,
Yeah, I don't know if there's somebody famous that played for the Mavs. Was there?
no famous guy.
In Germany?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
ja.
Also normalerweise würde ich Dirk Nowitzki sagen oder the Wagner Brothers, aber
Kumbi erklärt den Witz.
Er hat wieder zugeschlagen.
Ich hab wieder zugeschlagen,
Yes, his character is he always when we have a joke, he has to explain the joke, right?
Okay.
Because then he asks, yeah, but Dirk Nowitzki wasn't Dallas, right? So
Okay.
Okay. So,
first stop.
Okay,
Before we go
yes,
on,
yes, yes, sorry.
I have to show you this. Do you know this? Für alle, die jetzt den Audio-Podcast hören, wir haben hier ein Osterlamm. Do you know this Easter lamb?
I do not, but it looks like a funnel cake.
It's a cake, yes, and it's, I hope, very sweet. Would you like to cut off the head? And because I'm super hungry.
Okay, well, is there like any bad juju that I'm gonna get for cutting off the head of the lamb?
Yeah, we maybe it's like Thanksgiving, right? So we won't eat you, but we will.
we have to.
Okay, so you want me to start right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, that is lecker.
That is lecker. That's
It's
so
cut like
tasty.
butter.
Yeah. So this is for you.
So you don't want this piece?
Or you?
Okay, I already touched it.
Yeah.
I'll take this piece.
Okay. But this is for you.
Okay, thank you.
This is an Osterlamm because we eat it on Easter time. And I think it's quite traditional.
What?
Osterlamm.
The Osterlamm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would also like to
but
taste
I
it.
think the cake thing is not so traditional like the original Osterlamb.
What's an original Easter lamb?
Yeah, and real lamb.
Okay, a real lamb. Would
On
you,
the barbecue.
I would never eat a real lamb. Would you?
No.
You don't like lamb chops?
No.
For example.
Maybe I would. We are on television right now. I cannot say what I what I really like.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Das ist zu wenig, Kumbi.
Just a small slice for
okay.
you.
Probier mal. Dann just taste it.
Okay.
Was happened?
Oh, hast du gemacht?
Keine Ahnung. Ich glaube, es war das
wasn't
Messer,
me.
war es, glaube ich.
Nein.
It's very tasty.
Oh.
Could be a little bit sweeter.
It's very good.
Yeah, very good.
It's not too dry.
Not too dry. Very good. So, Kumbi, the next question, please. You have to eat.
Danke. So. Das ist lecker.
Das ist wirklich lecker.
Damit du weißt, wo ich dran bin,
Ja.
stelle ich kurz die Frage.
Okay.
So, then after high school, you moved to college?
Yes,
Go
I
to
went.
college? Was it also in Texas?
It was in Colorado.
Colorado.
My first college was in Colorado. My second one was in Kansas.
Kansas. So tell us something about your time in college, but not the normal things. We want to know the funny things.
It went by really fast. It was definitely something sometimes I took for granted. But I learned a lot, definitely about myself more than anything. It was my first time being away from just family in general. So I kind of had to grow up really fast, and definitely it prepared me for Finland. Colorado is very cold, and there is a lot of snow there.
Yeah.
And then in Kansas as well, in the Midwest, it doesn't really snow as much, but the winters are very brutal and the summers are very mild. So I would say those are like two of the biggest things that I've learned from just from being in college in general.
Do you have 4 years or 5 years because of the Corona thing?
I had 5 years. So
had 5 years.
COVID started my freshman year. So I didn't get to finish the rest of my freshman year. And then it just carried on for like basically the rest of my college career.
Okay.
How was college time? Parties and everything else?
They were wild. I mean, you have to make sure that you can stay focused as well on the court as you can off the court. But at the same time, my parents definitely stressed that I should live both lives. So as well as I am a student athlete, maybe, every once in a while or sometimes, depending on how good you can say no and yes, that you should, go to parties, maybe some hang out with some friends and stuff like that. So
A lot of guys from Germany and Europe right now at the moment goes to the college because of the NIL deals,
right,
and something like that. Do you have a suggestion for them what they have to do, or just do every party all night, or not?
I think it's a great idea, and I think the biggest advice I would
Party
say
is always a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just say, don't take it for granted. And if the opportunity is there, I would say, take it for sure. I mean, I wouldn't pass up on as much money as they're giving these kids now, and then as well as getting a college education, and then still being able to play basketball. I would definitely say not to ever pass up on that. That's something that I try to tell my younger brother as much as I can as well. So
let's talk about March Madness. We will talk about March Madness later on. Okay. Do you follow March Madness?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
So why is it that special?
Well, it's just an opportunity to show, I guess, like how much the kids have been working so much. And, back then they didn't have NIL. So March Madness was kind of like their way of like putting themselves out there, like their name, image, and likeness. And I think it's a great thing.
So you have the Elite 8, right? Then
Right.
And only one game or the
It's
quarterfinal?
just one elimination game.
Okay.
Yep.
And the best of one, and then the top 4 or the final 4.
Yep.
Wow, it's
But right now they're in the Sweet 16 right now, though.
a Sweet
Yeah,
16,
16.
Elite 8.
Between that, is there something like
No.
the last 12 or something? No.
No.
Yeah, so it goes to
Big
Sweet
12.
16 to the Elite 8 to the Final
Elite
4.
eight,
Yeah.
Final Four. Yeah.
Nice names, for sure. For sure.
Of course.
So let's talk about Merch Madness. You also wear this nice shirt. Can we see it?
I'll zip it down.
Yeah. What do you say to this merch? Ausrufenzeichen.
I need more of the merch because I have a lot of family that has been asking for the
That's
shirts,
no
so,
problem.
yeah, it's phenomenal.
So, can you remember the moment when you stood in Block Süd and said Ausrufenzeichen?
I'll never forget it. I think the dude that told me, I think he had a little bit of too much of the happy juice, but I don't think that I said the word right initially.
The word for beer is happy juice?
Yes, that's just what I called it. just
Okay.
happy juice. There's no way you can be sad if you're drinking beer.
Of
so.
course.
Of course.
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
a happy juice.
Yeah.
Okay. But remember maybe the time when you decided to go to college. Was it always the fixed plan of yours to become a basketball pro?
No, it wasn't. Before it was just mainly to get a college degree and then go from there, see what job I wanted. I think my junior year is when I started realizing that maybe I had the potential to go pro and actually see how far I can take it. But the initial thought mostly was just take it one step at a time, live in the present moment, and try to work towards a college degree.
What did you study in college?
I studied communication, and my minor was in business administration.
Okay, and then you thought maybe to go to the economic, to have an economic job or something else?
After I graduated?
Yeah.
Well, after I graduated, I kind of knew that
Okay.
I was going to take the basketball route. But I would say probably my first 2 years of college, I more thought that I wanted to kind of go the economy route.
And then I realized, hey, I'm Alijah Comithier, right? I
Yeah.
have to become a basketball pro, for sure.
It seems like it was destined.
I think so too.
So the first move after college was directly to Europe, or?
Yes.
So there was no thoughts about the NBA or the G League or something like that?
No, I kind of had my mind set on coming to Europe just for more opportunity and have the opportunity just to travel the world as well. So it was really hard to pass up on that.
Yeah, so you said right before then that Colorado gets you in a good position to survive Finland.
Yes,
So
they did.
How was the first impression when you get out of the plane and landed in Finland?
Well, when I first got to Finland, it was in September because I started in Karlsruhe in Pro A, and it was fairly warm. And then I think once it hit about the middle of October, that's when it kind of just went all downhill from there. Don't get me wrong, I love Finland, but yeah, the winters, that's something I'll never forget. Never seeing any sun.
Super dark.
It's super dark. I mean, the sun went down at about 1:30 to 2:30.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just an experience that you just have to go through.
But one thing is strange about Finland because it's super dark and super cold. But if you have some researchers around the world, in Finland, more or less, there's, I think, the happiest guys in the whole world. Why is that?
Yeah, I've seen that they always say it's the happiest
People.
country in the world. But
Yeah.
I guess it's probably just the quality of life. I mean, I know in the summers, I know the sun doesn't go down, and everybody is very friendly to each other there. And then as well, they are very up to date and hip with like kind of what's going on with the world and what they have in their economy and stuff. So I can see why they say it's the happiest country in the world.
They are quite nice to each other, except you are a Finnish coach and the player's not doing in the practice what the coach wants. And then you hear a very, very loud Finnish guy.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said, "What the fuck?" We are talking about Thomas Isalo.
Wait, say it again?
Yeah. Thomas Isalo, you know him? He's the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies now.
I have heard about
Yeah,
him.
he was coach in Bonn.
Okay.
He is coming from Finland. And he was nice. But also in practice, when you talk to the players, he knew what he wanted. Let's say it
like this. So,
Bitte, Kumbi.
I move on. So, Finland, and then you moved to Warsaw, to
Yep.
Poland. How was this experience?
It was short, but it was a great experience. Moving up into a different league, definitely more physical, more talented players. It kind of just had me just get up to date quicker and just kind of get ready really for like the BBL, to be honest. It kind of prepared me for what I was going to see here a little bit. I always want to thank the staff at Ziki Warsaw for giving me the opportunity, especially coming from where I was in Finland. But it was a great experience, definitely. The culture was great. The food, it still was very cold there when I got there. I think I got there in March. And yeah, overall it was a great experience.
So with Ziki Warsaw, you also visit Bamberg in
Yep.
the ENBL, the European Northern Basketball League thing.
Game of Thrones League.
And I think you beat them, and you moved into the semifinals with that.
We did.
Was the time the two games against Bamberg? That there comes the first thoughts for you up to say, "Hey, I'm ready for the BBL."
Well, it was kind of a crazy story because going into that ENBL game, I didn't know that much stake was online until maybe about 5 hours before the game. Was like, hey, like this is for us to move into the Final Four, and I was like, oh, so this is a really big game. And I was more focused on that and I didn't really know too much about the BBL teams as much until I learned that Bamberg wasn't the BBL. So I didn't really think too much of me being ready for the BBL. I just kind of always thought that I would adjust wherever league I go to once I get time and effort. And I didn't know if I was ready for the BBL until I got here.
So let's talk about, I think, maybe one of the most important topics of today, of the podcast. Then afterwards, you decided to come to Bonn to join the Telecom Baskets. And you decided very, very early to extend your contract. Why did you extend your contract that early here in Bonn? What are the reasons that you say, I want to stay here in Bonn until 2028?
Well, first and foremost, I just felt like there was really no time for me to wait. You know, the club and the staff and just everybody in the building, they showed me so much love and they make me feel really comfortable. And I know there's so many stories about people in Europe that you don't really get that blessing as I did. So that was one of the first reasons why I was like, am I really comfortable here? Are they taking care of me? And if I can answer those without even having a second thought, then that was a very good reason for me to sign back as well.
Which role has our coach Marco have in this whole story? Because I think he trusts you. Did he have to convince you a long time, or did you say, no, Coach Marco, of course I will stay because of you maybe?
No, he didn't have to really convince me at all. Marco played a very big role in my reason staying here. He really took a chance on a pretty young guy in Europe, and I would say that I love that he kind of just throws me in the fire and doesn't think twice about it. So he lets me learn, even when it's good and even when it's bad, and he sticks by me no matter what. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons on me signing back, is that he has a lot of trust in me, no matter what happens.
So we have 9 games to go in the season. So the season is pretty good this year. We are on the 3rd or 4th position. Very good chances to reach the playoffs. Why is the season that successful right now? Why is the team clicking together that good?
I think it starts in practice, and I think that we're not scared to make the practices harder than the games. And I think that starts with the coaching staff, and I also think that starts with the players as well. So we're not afraid to step on each other's toes. And we just try to make the practices as competitive as possible to make the games a lot easier. And I think that just carried over for the whole season, and gave us a lot of positive results. I mean, there's always going to be some losses and stuff like that, some bad losses. But overall, I think that is the reason why we were able to be in the position that we are in now.
So I got some more questions. You told us, and that you got a good team chemistry. And tell us something about the locker room. There are different guys, different characters. What kind of special skill do you have in the locker room? Maybe you're the funny guy, or you're the quiet guy, or what are you doing there?
I laugh a lot in the locker room.
You laugh a lot.
Yes, we have a lot of interesting characters, and we have a lot of funny guys in the locker room. And I think how competitive we are on the court, that just brings us a lot closer in the locker room. So there's just always a whole bunch of jokes and stuff. Me personally, I do laugh a lot just because I don't know, I like always having a great time. We work so hard that I feel like we can enjoy, just the comfort of each other, laughing, telling jokes, talking just about life, whether it's basketball or not. So, we have a lot of interesting characters, though. I know you can't really tell on the court just because of how serious we are, but if anybody ever got the chance to know, like, everybody's personality, I feel like everybody would just fall in love with each other.
So, but everybody also around the team is saying that something is growing together over there in your team. Do you also feel it? Do you recognize it, that something is growing together?
I do. I feel like you can see it within each game too, and each practice as well. I feel like that, the more time we spend with each other on and off the court, I just feel like the bond gets stronger, and it's turning more into a brotherhood more than just, teammates, or even just, friends that, have to do the same job or have to play on the same team. And I think that's what is really carrying our success, and just carrying, I guess, like the love, like, community, like that, that we're like feeding back into, Bonn in general.
So you talked about brotherhood and love. So we have to talk about very special situation in the last game between you and Thailand Birds, which maybe went a little bit viral. What happened over there? Is this normal in a good family?
Yes, just like in any other family, brothers argue, and, me and Ty always do TikToks together and stuff like that. So everybody knows that we're really close. But one thing I wanted to always say is that brothers argue, there's always going to be disagreements, and, whether it's physical or not, at the end of the day, he's always my brother. And I know he'll always have my back, and vice versa. I'm always 10 toes behind him. So I never wanted, obviously I didn't know it was going to go viral, but I did just want to clear that up, that everything is always good between us, no matter what.
So we have to talk about also the private part of Alijah Comithier. And you already talked about your father. And I talked to some detectives, and they had some researchers. Your dad, he's a priest?
Yes.
Is this right?
Yes.
He's a priest? Then he's a competitive bodybuilder.
Yes.
I saw pictures. It's a little bit impressive.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's also a health and a fitness coach.
Yes, he is.
So what did your father had a big influence on you because of fitness, sports, and everything?
Well, it's crazy because he didn't start the fitness journey and like the competitive bodybuilding until after I left college. So it was very late when he started.
He didn't look like he looks today.
I wouldn't say that. He was always in shape, but I think that he kind of wanted to take that next part of his journey. I don't know when he wanted to start it. But I mean, yes, he did take it. And I would say it's paying off based off of the pictures. But yeah, he did not start it until I was all old and stuff like that. So I kind of blame him. He maybe could have gave me a couple inches for jumping or something like that.
Yeah. So you also have goals for after your career, right?
Yes, I don't know if I'm gonna do the competitive bodybuilding.
So if you go in summer to him, then you come back with 6 kilograms of muscles more.
Every time I go back home in the summer with him, I do start the new season a little bit bigger. So it's very hard for me to pick up on weight, and he kind of makes it easier for me to add weight on.
Because we also heard that you love chocolate.
I do love. Yes and no. It just kind of depends. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Love-hate relationship.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I don't know if they sell like Hershey bars here.
No.
It's just basically like just a regular chocolate bar. I don't really like just plain chocolate, but if it's like a Reese's like piece, then I love that.
Dubai chocolate.
What is that?
With pistachio.
Pistachio is it?
Pistachios?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have chocolate and pistachios?
Yeah.
With pistachio in it.
It came from Dubai, and everybody.
But it's not
the last
close
year.
to Hershey's.
Oh, okay.
No.
And I know the Hershey's.
Yeah?
So it's not close to that.
Oh, you do know the Hershey's?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't really eat like just a plain just chocolate by itself.
Okay.
But if it's like Reese's, yeah, I can tear that up though.
Right.
And at Halloween, you were dressed as Thing 1 and Thing 2 from The Cat in the Hat.
Yes.
Why that?
That was
First,
a college
explain what
picture.
is Thing 1 and Thing 2.
So they are basically two mischievous twins in Cat in the Hat that just basically do whatever the cat says. But me and my teammate wanted to, I guess, go together like in Halloween, and that was the first thing that came to my mind, especially since I always wear the number 2 jersey for the rest of my life. So I always wanted to have a reason to wear the Thing 2. And then he was like, well, I'll be Thing 1. And then I kind of just went from there.
Okay. So you wear the number 2 jersey. Why did you choose the number 2?
I don't know. It was like the first available jersey in high school. So then I just kind of stuck with it. And then ever since then, every team just asked me, like, do you want to stay with number 2? And I was just like, well, sure. Until I got to Finland when I had to wear number 22.
Okay, because the 2 wasn't available.
No, it was not available.
Okay. Kumbi, ich habe noch ein paar Fragen. Ist das okay?
So,
Darf ich?
go on.
I heard.
You sent the detectives,
Yeah.
not me.
I heard that you, Zach and Ty went to Cologne to have some party at the famous Kölner Ringe. You went to a club. Is that right?
Wait, what is it called again?
You went to have party, the Kölner Ringe. I don't know, Nachtflug.
Okay, I've heard of it. Yes,
You heard of
Yes.
it, right? So is this a secret or can we talk about it?
No, it's not a secret.
Okay. Then how is it to go to have party in Cologne?
So far it's been really fun, just to see the different atmosphere and just vibe of what I've been used to in America versus what I've been used to here.
Let's call it, it's a bigger city than Bonn.
Yes, it is a bigger city than Bonn, but just it's just so different, I guess, going out here versus going out in America.
Why?
Well, one, everybody dances here, and in America, it's kind of getting caught up in egos and just trying to show how much money you have, and just trying to be, like the biggest kingpin in the whole wherever you go, whatever it's a bar or a club. But it's kind of satisfying seeing people actually enjoy themselves when they go out here.
So here is better.
I would say so.
Yeah.
We talked to our sports director, Savomilovic, and he said that you don't eat anything else except sushi and sausages. Is that right?
Sushi?
Sushi and sausages.
And you heard that from who?
Savo.
I got a bone to pick with Savo, but I do love I do love sausages, I guess, but only from the place right next to Cafe Kurt. There's like this there's a German restaurant, and they serve like the best cabbage and sausages. So I definitely like going there.
Okay, that's a traditional German food, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is very tasty.
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst. Bratwurst.
Yeah.
It's so tasty. So I have one last question. You looking forward for the cherry blossom bloom thing in the Altstadt?
I've not heard about it.
Yeah? Okay, then maybe I have to show you, because I heard a rumor that you would like to go to have a romantic date in the Altstadt of Bonn to see the nice trees with nice flowers.
Well, you got to tell me what's the whole tradition then?
Okay, I will show you. Kumbi will ask another question. I will show you the Kirschblüte.
Okay.
Yes, show him. And when we are talking about your free time, what does Alijah Comithier do when there's no basketball in his hands?
I play the game a lot.
PlayStation?
Yes.
Okay.
So I do play the game a lot, whether it's some friends on the team or most of the time I do play with a lot of friends back at home. Depending what time they get off work. If it's too late, then I'll have to go to sleep just because of the time zone difference. Yeah. But yeah, I do love playing the game a lot. And then also I do listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
That's something that I really take as an importance, and just trying to learn it as much as I can. Like I like listening to the beats and sometimes just listening straight to instrumentals. Mm-hmm. And then more, I guess I do like to sleep a lot as well. I am a very big napper. Yeah. So during the day, I do like to take a lot of naps and stuff like that.
So if you're on the road in the team bus, you're napping?
Yes, usually I'm asleep.
Yeah, okay.
So now you get the biggest advice of your whole life. If you have a date with a nice girl, a romantic date, you have to go to the Altstadt, the old town in Bonn. It's close to the central.
Okay.
And so it's super romantic. And I think in 1 or 2 weeks, we all have these nice trees over there. It's German, it's Kirschblüte. And see how nice it is.
Has the blossoms already started?
No, in 1 week.
Okay.
1 week to go. And see, could make a girl very, very happy.
I definitely will visit it, but I don't know how my allergies are going to handle it.
Yeah, that could be a problem, but there are a lot of influencer, there. And,
they can help you.
Maybe.
So it's like a major attraction, basically.
This is a super attraction. This is
they come from worldwide.
Okay. This is attraction it's in the top 10 in TripAdvisor.
Oh,
10
really?
places in the world you have to see.
Okay.
And it's a Kirschblüte in Bonn.
So it sounds like it needs to be like the 8th wonder of the world.
It is.
It
is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe the 9th.
Huh? Maybe
the 9th.
What's the 8th one?
You?
Dirk Nowitzki, I think.
Yeah, okay. Who's Dirk Nowitzki?
I don't know. I just don't know. So
he can't be from Dallas.
Alijah, I think this was the nice part. This was the easy part of the podcast.
Do you ever heard about this podcast?
I have. I definitely have.
Yeah. So maybe you talked to other guys who were here before?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Okay. So, but you listen to maybe to the parts of your guys from the podcast.
You have to. Now you have to say yes.
So maybe he's vorbereitet.
Yeah. So here prepared. Now it's a very dangerous part of the podcast.
Okay. A lot of players in the past are very afraid also.
Yeah. Some players went out of the hotel and cried, never came back, never, and said, I don't like HEARTBERG Hotel at all. Yeah? Anymore. And this category is called 24 seconds.
Okay.
24 seconds.
So, the next tradition, another tradition in our podcast is that Kumbi, he explains the rules of this very dangerous game.
So, 24 seconds, we have 24 this or that questions. For example, cats or dogs. You have to make a decision. You can't skip, you can't put a third thing. And I think that it's all.
That's all.
And we have to be very fast because we have just 24 seconds.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Carnival in Bonn or Halloween in America?
Halloween in America.
Festival or club night?
Festival.
Big city life or quiet life?
Quiet life.
The Cat in the Hat or Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
Rod wave or Polo G?
Raw wave.
Country music or Finnish rap?
Country music.
The Flash or Batman?
The Flash.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Chocolate or chips?
Chips.
Steak or seafood?
Steak.
Sushi or sausages?
Sausages.
We have to call Savo. I don't know what's the story behind that. Okay. Chug a beer or enjoy a beer?
Chug a beer.
We heard about stories of Pützins Markt, where you showed everyone that you can do it very, very fast.
Wait, what is that again?
Pützenmarkt was the thing in these big Bavarian tent. Where
At the
we
beginning of the
introduced-
season,
at
right?
the beginning of the season.
Oh, the
It was a
Oktoberfest.
team attraction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
Oktoberfest.
like Oktoberfest.
And
yes.
we heard something how you drink a beer over there.
Yeah, I'd rather chug a beer.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So, white jersey or magenta jersey?
Magenta.
Sneakers or slides?
Sneakers.
Fashion drip or comfort fit?
Comfort fit.
Curly or straight hair on woman?
Curly.
Playoffs or regular season?
Playoffs.
Take over or play within the system?
Take over.
Highlight plays or consistency?
Consistency.
MVP or championship?
Championship.
Lead the team or stay low key?
Stay low key.
Question mark or explanation mark?
Explanation mark.
Finish winter or polish summer?
Finish winter.
Oh, early workout or late night gym?
Early workout.
And this was
3, 2, 1.
Just in time.
So right now I think we have to call Savo because I just don't know what it's meant by sushi or sausages. And he's laughing a little bit too much, Elijah, so we have to call him. Okay, es klingelt.
I'm interested to see what he's going to say.
Maybe we have to.
You can hope that he brings his kids just to bed, so he's not able to
Yeah.
answer. Oh, Savo, there he is. We have a special guest over here in our podcast. It's Mr. Alijah Comithier. He made a big Ausrufenzeichen in our podcast. Savo, wir wollen gar nicht lange stören. We just have one question. What's the story behind sushi or sausages?
Ich habe mir das absolut ausgedacht. No, it's a little bit maybe okay. Maybe Poland, a little bit more sausage-wise. And I don't know. Es gibt keine Story.
Da gibt's eine, aber keiner will sie sagen. Das höre ich komplett raus.
It's not for the
Not for public. Okay.
not for public. Aber mit wem seid ihr? Mit
Elijah.
wer ist das nochmal?
He just
Elijah.
asked, who's Elijah? I don't know.
Who Elijah? Who?
So, Savo, now you have the chance to make the big statement as a sports director why we extended the contract with Elijah until 2028.
I was drunk.
Okay.
Nein, soll ich das mal lieber auf Deutsch?
Auf
Weil
Deutsch,
sonst-
gerne, ja.
auf Deutsch,
Ja.
Elijah, I'm gonna talk in German because I don't want you to get, all excited and how great you are and blah blah blah.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Nein, das ist neben den einigen Jungs, die diesen riesen Schritt in dieser Saison gemacht haben, ist seine Arbeitseinstellung, sein Charakter erstmal das Perfekte, was zu dem Basket Spirit passt. Und dazu natürlich das Spielerische und die Verantwortung, die er von Woche zu Woche nimmt. Also wir haben mit einer gewissen Entwicklung von ihm gehofft und erwartet, aber natürlich so ein Riesensprung. Ich glaube, hat er alle Erwartungen übertroffen.
Mhm.
Und da es, wie gesagt, ein sehr, sehr vernünftiger Junge ist, mussten wir quasi, aber gab es keine andere Wahl. Wäre zu blöd, wenn wir nicht alles dafür getan hätten,
Ja.
ihn ein bisschen länger in Bonn zu halten.
I just have to translate for Elijah. He said that he...
No, don't translate this to him.
Nein, he extended your contract because you like sushi and sausages.
It's spot on.
So, Savo,
Don't.
Dankeschön. Danke. Heute
Aber
bist du mal
natürlich.
nicht im Mittelpunkt. Heute ist es Elijah und vielen Dank
Ich versuch's. Ich gebe mein
dafür,
Bestes. Ich gebe mein
dass
Bestes.
ihr es geschafft habt, diesen Kontrakt zu verlängern. Danke, Savo.
Okay. Hey, Elijah, all love, man.
I love baby.
Alles klar. Alles klar. Moin, moin. Ciao.
Bye, bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Is it special to have a boss like this?
Yes, me and Sal have a great relationship.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's always jokes, but then he always knows when to make it serious,
Yeah.
and then whether to give me advice or if I need like an extra push, he also is there to help me as well.
I think this is the biggest talent of Savo. Would you agree that he's able to be really funny, but when he's serious, and then he can give advices?
Yes, I think that's one of his best traits. He has a very good balance on both sides of the spectrum, and it definitely helps me as well. Not to take the game of basketball too serious, but then at the same time, though, it is a business, and I have a job to do, and he's always going to make sure that I'm sharp and on point.
Yeah,
So
great.
the good thing is, my dear Elijah, that you extended your contract until 2028, and you can come back to this nice podcast next
and
year,
again.
this year, next year, the year after. So you are more than welcome here in our little Hardback Hotel. And whenever you would like to come, you can visit us and give some answers. Is this a deal for you?
Okay, well, can I initiate coming back to the podcast, or do I have to always wait for y'all to?
You can initiate. But
ask
if
me?
you initiate, then maybe you become directly a co-host here.
Okay,
So
so
but
I can bring my own questions.
You can bring
You
your own
bring your own questions,
Yeah.
of course.
Do you think the fans and stuff are ready if I ask y'all questions? You
Yeah,
think-
of course.
Will y'all be ready for that though?
We are professional.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have to make sure.
Just give me a call and you can come to podcast whenever you want to.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah?
Sounds like a deal.
Then you can take it over.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
maybe
problem.
this is the idea. We should make a podcast only with 2 or 3 players and not with us.
Yeah.
This is the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kumbi is crying already, but I think this.
I can think I can handle with it.
Elijah, thank you very much that you were our guest. It's a big pleasure and it's a big honor, especially that you are staying that long here in Bonn. And we hope that season will be very long and that we have a lot of fun with you as we did in the last 10 months. Thank you very much, our prospect player, Alijah
Comithier.
HEARTBERG Hotel, das Interview der Woche.